Good afternoon, everyone. Kindall Tyson here, the owner of Aspire Counseling and Wellness Center, coming to you with another Q&A with Kindall as I am responding to the questions from the Taft Lady Raiders, students from their softball, track, and volleyball team. I hope that everyone has had a great holiday, Happy New Year, and I hope that you've made some space to set intentions for this 2025. And I know that you all are back at school today, so I hope that it goes well, that you get back into the swing of things, and that you are able to implement some of the things that I've been sharing with you. I'm going to state before I get into this question that I may be a licensed psychotherapist, professional school counselor, all those things. However, this response to the question is not meant to be used as a substitute for therapy. If you recognize that you've been experiencing some persistent struggle, or if you're not in crisis and you just need someone to help you to work through some things, set some healthier goals, et cetera, please reach out. I am accepting new clients, and there are also many amazingly qualified, culturally responsive, and caring licensed clinicians in the state of Texas. So I'm going to get to today's question. This is one that I notice often when working with students. And here's one. What can I do when I'm struggling with the stress as a student athlete and the expectations? So what I hear the student asking is how to manage the stress that they experience as an athlete, as a student athlete, and managing probably personal and external expectations. As a former student athlete, I know that can be challenging. So I'll start with this. I think it's one, recognizing that stress is a natural part of life. This is something that I talked about in the workshop that I did with the Lady Raiders. It's helping them to recognize the difference between distress and eustress. Distress is probably that unhealthy amount, that unhealthy stress that increases your cortisol levels, that can, become acute and chronic if, you're experiencing it over a prolonged amount of time, can lead to some serious results, outcomes. And eustress is like the good stress that we experience throughout our day. So the stress that you find yourself experiencing if you're preparing for a meet, something that you're excited about, or preparing for a test, or going to a birthday party, or, just the things that really help to amplify your life in a healthy way. Stress is a part of life. So recognizing that it's not something that you can escape. However, it is something that you can notice and do something about. So you are empowered to manage the stress that you are aware of. So a huge part of that is going to be taking an assessment of like your wellness. There is a self-care assessment that I love to share with people. I get it from Therapist Aid. If you want access to it, I can share it with you. Send me an email, DM me. I'll send you the self-care assessment. Just assessing where do you notice the highest levels of stress coming from in your life. So if it's as a student, if it's as an athlete, if it's both, then we're identifying what are the sources of these particular stressors. And then we figure out, all right, so if I notice that the stress that I'm experiencing, let's say this month, the beginning of the year, is I'm starting a new semester. I'm not really good at setting goals, so I struggle with that. So if it's more of an academic related issue, then we identify what are some solutions to the stressors that you're experiencing. Maybe you need help with setting routines. Maybe you need help with self-regulation. Maybe you need help with focus. So setting daily agendas. Maybe you need help with advocacy. So practicing how to ask for help and identifying what you need and not being in denial with the fact that you need some support. And let's just say that you're experiencing stress on the athletic side, because we're working with student athletes here, then it is learning more mindful ways of relating to the stress that you're experiencing. So maybe that's practicing more guided visualization. Maybe that's practicing healthier breathing techniques. Maybe that is practicing, right? When we practice, it releases and reduces some of the stress that we feel because we are preparing for something. So just knowing, in some cases, just knowing that you've prepared for a thing helps to reduce the anxiety and stress surrounding that thing. Also, shifting the way that we're thinking about a situation. Our thoughts are going to really impact the emotions that we have and how we behave and relate to a situation. So I would definitely say getting into better routines, more aligned routines, maybe removing some things off your plate that aren't really helping you with the thing that you're seeking help from. So if it's some things that are outside of your control, maybe thinking about, do I need to focus on this now, or is that something that I can focus on later? Learning how to prioritize. And then, really identifying what are the things in my life that add value that I really want to focus on. Because you can't be everything to everybody, right? You really have to recognize what matters to you most and put your effort into those things. So parents, I hope that you're listening, and that's also recognizing that your kids cannot live you cannot live vicariously through your children. Let them live their lives, right? We're here to guide them, support them, help them develop into the fullest versions of themselves, allowing them to take calculated risks while being there to support them, being a support system for them. They learn through these things. And so managing expectations is identifying whose expectations. Are you setting unhealthy expectations of yourself? Are there other people that have put their own expectations upon you that you feel that you must adhere to? So really taking a look at where those expectations are coming from and assessing, am I skilled enough to work on that particular thing? Are there conversations that I can have with people in my life? Are there boundaries that I can set for myself and with the people in my life that helps me to better manage not only my own expectations, but the expectations of others? A lot of it starts with conversation. And I know culturally that can be different and difficult for individuals who are born into families where the expectation is for you to be seen and not heard, or where it can be seen as disrespectful to advocate for yourself. And I'm hoping that we find ourselves in situations where parents are open to listening to what their children are experiencing and what they're feeling without without the notion of they're being disrespectful or they, are lazy. The whole point is, parents, if you want your child to be open with you and honest, you have to create a space of safety that they can do so. And so that is doing less talking, more listening, being more supportive. You don't always have to agree with what they're saying, what they're offering, but you do want to be able to provide an empathetic, non-judgmental sounding board for them to be able to process their thoughts and feelings if you want them to do more of that with you. You can't expect them to come to you with their deepest thoughts and feelings and emotions and worries if they don't feel safe enough to do that. That is your responsibility as guardians, as parents, as individuals in charge of our children. And kiddos, it's also our responsibility to be open, right? Find someone that you can trust, be it your parent or another trusted adult, where you're able to process your thoughts and feelings in a safe, non-judgmental manner. And the key is working together, it's collaborating, and then making a plan. So it's January. I'm not a resolutions girly, but I'm definitely an intentions lady. So setting your intentions early. I also have this quarterly goal setting template that I sell on my website. If that's something that you want, it's pretty reasonable, pretty affordable. Learning how to set SMART goals, learning how to focus your attention, manage your time well, doing better in these areas, I think is going to really help you to manage expectations and not only identify but manage the stress of being a student athlete. So let me know what you think in the comments. Share your thoughts with me. Does this make sense? Does anything resonate with you? Would you add anything? Would you remove anything from the suggested support? Please follow us on Instagram. Join our newsletter at www.aspirecounselingwell.com. Follow us on YouTube. Share in your community, and be ready for the next Q&A with Kindall from responding to questions from the Lady Raiders. Bye.